And you are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Well, that was scary. The radio is here. The two-way is working on channel 1127.085 here in the Central Valley of California, and I think the video is up and running. At first, it was showing that it wasn't doing anything, but I think it is now. So we'll leave it alone. OldTubeRadio.net is the audio stream if you are so inclined. Conditions have been not too bad today. Pretty good in the morning. I heard all sorts of stations all over the U.S. pointing their antennas towards the West Coast here and trying to get Motormouth Mall on Channel 11. He must have been out there with the big beam. But we are out here right now with our not-so-big beam, the Old Tube Radio Network. My name is Dennis, net controller for the evening, where our shortwave listeners and Old Tube Radio operators will, I guess, be the star of this particular network as they transmit, say hello, and bring their radios by. We have been doing this for a long, long time, and we're glad that you are able to join us and listen in live, or maybe not so live, but we are here. So without any further ado, I'll be right back, and we'll start the check-ins. With the directed net roll call 00, that is Phil. Phil has been, let me check, the running man has been active this week. He's got the antenna on the radio. In fact, I'm looking at the APRS right now, and my icon is up there, and his running man is icon. It looks like he could run right over to my house. Hello, 00.
Well, good evening, Dennis. 00 checking in, and I think I finally got the APRS figured out with my radios. Took me a little while, but I think I got it down now. Thanks, Dennis.
Okay, I still don't have it down that good. You can do messaging and all sorts of stuff, but I see you on the thing. I've got my beacon up here, so you'll have to get your frequency where it shows what frequency you're on, and then I'll be able to find you. Anyway, you're looking good, and thanks for getting this started off. SWL1, speaking of starting off, this is the guy that got the whole thing, one of the guys that got the whole thing started off here years ago. The Old Tube Radio Network, Dr. J listening in, making sure that everything seems to go okay. SWL number 2. 9 pounds, good modulation over at Chestnut and Herndon. Let me get my other window in there, and OBP is listening in, doing the thing tonight. Sunspot numbers are up, not real high. We have a solar event that has happened and heading our way. So they're saying, look and listen on Monday, Tuesday, see what's going to happen. Might have some interesting conditions. Over to SWL3. And get a check-in for Rob, SWL4. Shortwave listener number 5. SWL6. SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
Sounding good from the air chair tonight. And got you checked in on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Thank you, and I'll be looking forward to the tubers.
They should be coming by. I've got my RF gain kind of clamped down, so the frequency sounds a little bit quiet, but I think here locally things will be popping. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL10. Don't see or hear Idaho, Chrissy or Dwayne in. Put a proxy on. They might be in just a little bit later. Conditions are around, so I kind of expect we might be hearing that eagle or that robin popping in. Over to SWL13. want to say hello to our stations joining us tonight across the net. The unknown SWL is up in the balcony handing out something. I hope it's legal. He passes the guards. It should be. Hello to Fresno, Dallas, Texas, Temecula up in California. The boys in Squamish, of course, in their spot up in the balcony with the barbecue and some other items of interest. Have to let us know what you guys are doing up there. And also, 428 Mobile is at the ready in case we get some conditions tonight. Hello to Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Moncks Corner, South Carolina. As always, Albury, California. Probably get some radios from up around that area tonight. Fresno and up here in the booth on the other side of the glass, Anoka, Canby, and Belfast. The old Tube Radio Network. Let's look for SWL 14. And SWL 16. Hello, Charlie. It's up here. What is going? Oh, you know what? They put in, that's what I saw him doing. Charlie was putting in those rope lights, those LED rope lights. They put them around the perimeter here. So, the lights aren't that good once you get off the area here. So if you're walking around, you will, thanks to Charlie for screening or putting down the lights tonight. Over to SWL 17. SWL 18. Mr. KDA checked in via Facebook. And over to SWL 19, Chet, who is doing the cue cards tonight. What is going on? Hold on. Why does it have a handle? Hold on. Yeah. Give me that one. All right, Chet is up here in the front, and he's holding the cue cards tonight, and this one has a handle. So here's... Okay, this is not good. Did we run out of money? So here's the cue card. He will hold these up, and when I don't know what I'm saying. But they're writing on the back of the bag. What is this? This is a Trader Joe's bag with a handle on it. Don't we have enough money for the... Yeah. Don't we have enough money for the cards tonight? I know. You do the best you can. You do a good job. Thank you, Chet. And if that's all they have for you is some Trader Joe's bags, I will work with that. Thanks for checking in tonight. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Check in 29 and 54, and that should be it. Yeah. I think everybody else should make it in tonight.
Okay, usual band of crazies. I heard one of the tube radios testing before the net tonight was sounding good, and likewise, so are you. We got a respite in the heat, so maybe you can spend the whole evening in the radio room because it'll be the warm place tonight.
Well, it just might be. We'll see. If not, I'll just be in the next room, listening on the stream, or I could put it on in here. Okay. We'll get back to you later, and I'll check this one in. This will be not a new one, but one I haven't done in a while. Okay, back to you.
Okay, sounds good. Over we go to, and I hear the voice in the background.
He found out what was going on.
SWL 21, Mr. Dirty Diaper from the old radio night, which just concluded. And tonight, can I grab a picture here tonight for those who got the video? Yeah, we've got, he had the Cobra 2000. What a nice radio. That is really a very nice, well laid out radio for one that doesn't have any tubes in it. And JT tonight had to do 2 streams. I've done that before. And just as his first stream crashed, my computer crashed as I was setting things up, and I had to start all over again. So, like I told JT, how does radio...
Tempo.
When did radio get...
What's up, Big Pen?
get so complicated. JT, you are checked in tonight, and if you haven't, to our listeners, check out old radio night from the Wasama Swamps in South Carolina before this net on YouTube, or maybe you will have the wherewithal to join in live. He's got the best antenna and receiver in the world, so he's probably bound to hear you. You are checked in, JT, so if you need to go do some stuff, because I know you've been busy with Old Radio Night, go ahead. We got you checked in. Next, we have, back to the list of lists, SWL 22. And my check-in didn't work. Let me try 21 again. There it goes. Official 21. Over to SWL 23. I've been requested by proxy, I guess. Not the little voice that works for the Echo link to check in 23's Skidoo tonight, which I will. And the link is up. Somehow he's managed to link the link without actually linking the link. But it is linked up tonight. Echo link 354870 on the link. Look for Old 2 Radio Network, and maybe we can jump in for a little bit. Who else is out there? Hello to Charlie Hustle 55. 81. Yeah, Steve Areno. I will get you checked in. Let me do that right now so you can get in and get out where it is. It is later than you think. We're here on the West Coast, so just about anybody who's checking us out on the YouTube is probably in a different time zone, perhaps. So, Steve, we've got you checked in tonight. Uncle Hairball is listening in on the YouTube from his appearances over at Old Radio Night. Tony is in. John Farrar, hello, John. Thanks for joining us. Cornbread, as always, who pays by the meme. He's got them all. He's got the package. It's like when in the 4th of July, when you get that giant package with everything in it that costs hundreds of dollars. But you have fun. All right, back to the net. We're looking for SWL 24. All right, 24, checking in. Good to hear you on live tonight. Thanks for checking in. SWL 25. You might be doing the music thing tonight. I don't know. I can't promote it because I wasn't on the Wednesday night net to find out where he might be. Page 2. It's still page 2. If I redo the pages, which I might do, who knows where you will wind up. SWL 27.
27's checking in live from Studio G.
Studio G, where it is, hopefully there's no leaks in Studio G, and you are safe and sound and dry.
Roger. Just working a little FT8 into Fiji, and I think I got Greenland and Tonga Island. So I might pick up a couple of countries. Number 27.
All right, before you go, what's the frequency of choice on FT8 at the moment?
Right now it's probably 40 meters. I got those on 17 meters, though. Yeah,
I've got the HF. Wait a minute. I don't want to get too hammy here, but yeah. There's 20 meters. There's nary a phone contact, and I've got an S9 on the FT8 people. Not hearing much on 17, so yeah, I think the band is going to have to good antenna for that, but still open on 20. All right, thanks for checking in, Dwayne.
Roger.
Before I go too far, let me get SWL 10 checked in. Hello, Chrissy. I see you on frequency, as it were. So we're getting the X in square. Thanks for joining us tonight. Over to SWL 28. And Gary is in. Let me clip the number here. There it is. And he's doing good tonight, saying have a great show. Somebody is having a show tonight, having a great show, and celebrate green. Go green. We will see. See if we get any green radios in tonight. My video is lagging. I don't know how far behind I am on the video side, but it looks like it's kind of far behind. So I hope it's working. I hope you're not watching me tomorrow or yesterday if you're trying to watch live. SWL29 with the proxy check-in. Also, SWL30 will get Dwayne checked in. And Dwayne is just waiting. He's got the Browning fired up. They've got the Robin fired up, seeing if we get some conditions tonight. SWL31. SWL32. SWL33. Myself, Bozo Control. With a honk of the proboscis. SWL34. That's Jimmy and Little Toot helping us out with the Old Tube Radio CB Network Facebook page. He'll probably be in a little bit later as he has many things to do, so I'll get Railroader proxied in. And then over to, this guy is worldwide. Even when he's not on the radio, Mr. Bill is worldwide. Last night we had a contact from a Cheyenne, Wyoming station on the Ditch Banks sideband net, and spoke good stuff, which is about all you can speak. Good stuff about Mr. Bill and Red Monkey Communications. Thanks for checking in from Cheyenne, Wyoming tonight. A lot of radios you heard tonight, courtesy of the fine folks at Red Monkey Communication and Mr. Bill and the crew. Over to SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37 checking in, Dennis.
37 checking in, and you're sounding good. You got home just in time.
Yeah, well, I'm on the O2. I'm going to be turning off if I'm kind of tired. I've been doing a lot of running today, so can I check in my general now?
All right, we'll give a pre-check-in for the general radio telephone. I will make a note of that, and we will add it to the list tonight in the mix. Have a great rest of your evening. You're sounding good, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Well, I want to kick this in real quick while I was at it, so I'm going to kick back in the easy chair and be comfy. So everybody out there, have a good evening. I'm sorry, but I'm tired, so good night.
All right, well, this is the kickback on the easy chair and be comfy frequency, so you've come to the right place. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 38. Shortwave listener 39. SWL 40. And just a reminder, the Old Tube Radio Network is not a club. There's no secret handshake. There's no dues. We're just a voluntary association of people who are interested in old tube radios, so you don't even need a number. No, you don't need a number. You don't even need a tube radio to participate. We are glad to have you along tonight. So join us, won't you? We've been doing this for 36 years. It's been a long time. We've been doing this for a long, long time. Over to SWL 41. And all I have to do is look on the right screen. And in that time zone, that New York time zone out there in the Hudson Valley, Road Dog 507 saying good evening to everyone. 200 National Sideband 507. Thanks for checking in. Let's go over to SWL 42.
Yeah, it's Proxy and 42 in the gang.
All right, 42 in the gang, we will do. And the seersucker suit and tie actually feels good tonight. I've got the window open, a nice breeze. It's probably, I don't know, mid-60s rather than 102 outside, so it's kind of nice. Let's go over to SWL 43. Got a proxy in for Eddie. SWL 44. I'll get Raymond checked in. He sounds good on sideband. He sounds good everywhere on the Ditchbank sideband net. I am due. I looked at my Starduster antenna. It is in bad shape up there. I do believe I am in line for some type of a new antenna that actually works. Speaking of an antenna that works, this guy has a great one. It's been beaconing down the hill for a long time. Over to Paul, SWL 45.
Sounded good right there. It's a little noisy, but you're making it through just fine. 45.
Yeah, we had a little bit of Hawaii in earlier. The band has been in and out, so I think it's probably still in, but you've got to have a high-altitude antenna and a good receiver to see what happens. In the meantime, you're doing great. I've got an X in the square. Hope you and Kelly are doing fine. Isn't it nice to have some rain and some nice, breathable air? Thanks for checking in. Next, we have SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47.
Good evening from the radio lounge. If you can even hear me, SWL 47.
I can hear you from wherever you are, SWL 47, over.
Yeah, I'm in the radio lounge right now, and I'll tell you what, man, it sounds like someone's got a garbage disposal going on in the background. There's so much noise over here.
My goodness. Well, look for the bug zapper. Somebody just put in some LED porch lights or something.
Yeah, I got to figure this out. But anyways, at least I can hear you, and you can hear me. There it is. Happy Saturday evening, everyone.
Indeed. Thanks for checking in from the radio lounge. Wherever you can make it from tonight, we would like to hear from you, whether it's on channel 11, 27085, over on the YouTube video chat. There's also oldtuberadio.net on your Universal Media Net web device of choice. And maybe you are watching the replay or listening to the replay. Hello to you. Thanks for joining us. Over to SWL 48. And did I mention that we will be having the classic tube radios manufactured from 1958-59 when the FCC banged the gavel and said, yes, there will be a Class D citizen band radio service through 1978 and maybe beyond. Be checking in tonight, so stay tuned for that. Our tube radio operators keep us in business these 36 years. Over to SWL 49. SWL 50.
50 here, checking in.
50 checking in. Thanks, Mark. I put the X in the square. You are coming up to what? About 1 million of those now.
Yeah, something like that.
Checking in a long time, but Mark is no stranger to tube radios. He's been keeping us in tube radios for a long time. Thank you, 50. Over to SWL 51. And I will get Dave checked in. I heard him earlier when the band was open, testing. I think he was on the flat side doing some long-distance stuff. He sounded good. 305 in Sanger, if you're listening, I have you checked in. Over. And hello to those that just came in up in the balcony. Be sure to jump on down into the green room after you visit the Squamish boys up there at their barbecue. See what's happening in the green room. We will find out tonight. We've got Greenfield, Ohio, and Newtown. What's going on in Newtown tonight? In the UK. Joining us early this morning. The sun isn't even up, and they've got the old tube radio beaconing in at 55 degrees. Thanks for checking in tonight, and hopefully we will have something. We will have one of your favorite radios tonight. Let's go over to SWL 52. SWL 53.
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis. If you can hear me okay, you got 53, the legend, checking in there, Roger.
The legend is checking in and checked in. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to have to break down and buy another Heil foot switch, because this kind of crossed arm thing that I have to do to reach the J38 code key, which is the push to talk and write everything down, isn't working. So I'll do the other thing. Oh, before I turn the page, I want to say hello too, and we did check you in. We'll do it officially here up. It's over there, up there on the board, big board, SWL 23. 23 Skidoo, Mitch saying, sorry I missed the check-in. He was at the hospital. Oh, no, for an MRI. And while he was at the hospital, they asked him if he had any metal on him, and he said, no, but I have a magnetic personality. And then they just kicked him out and said, take 2 aspirin and come back when you get over yourself. Well, it may be a long time before that happens, but in the meantime, Mitch has got the Echolink link up. The clip leads are clipped, and somewhere on, what is it, 354-870 node. If you've got the Echolink thing, you can jump in and we might be able to catch you for a second or two. The old Tube Radio Network, over to page, where was I going? Page 3, looking for SWL 54. Going up the hill to SWL 55.
55, checking in. Can I proxy 65 too?
All right, 55 in, live and direct. Thank you, M&M. Eric will get checked in as well. And likewise, Mr. Board Jammer at 54. Let's see. Let's see if I'm still beaconing in, if I still have my coordinates set up to say hello out there to Gazebo Gardens and SWL 56. Over.
56. I'm going to need a proxy, 2 proxies for next weekend. I will try to check in via APRS. I'll change my upload text. If you're looking for it, it will be my call sign -7. Over.
Okay, coolness. In fact, I'm going to look at it. I'm not going to put it up on the screen, but I'm going to look at it right now. And, yeah, because you're -1 right now. So I'll see if I can find the -7, wherever you might be. I can put you in there. And I do the same thing. I think there's a little message place. It doesn't give you very much room. But I think, in 8 characters or less, you can get checked in. That'll be pretty cool. That will be our first. That will be our first APRS check-in if you do it. So we'll be looking for that.
Yeah, it's, I'm not, I turned my radios off for right now. But anyway, it'll be my call -7, and I will try to request a check-in via the APRS upload text. Over.
Okay, I'll look for it, and if it's there, or when it's there, I will do it. That'll be another interesting way to check in. All right, radio is fun, whether you're doing it with J38 code key or the new FT8 or digitally or just over the microphonium 10.4. Thank you for checking in. Speaking of 10.4, we passed 10.4 day was Monday, and it is 10.9. No wonder nobody can hear me. It's 10.9 day, so happy 10.9 day. I should have been on yesterday because it was 10.8. A lot of people were 10.8 and smoking. Over to SWL 57. Brown Dog Audio, right there. 57 checking in from the mobile. All right. Hope you are doing good in the mobile. Heading south out of Ohio with a truckload of tube radios and reverse preamps. This sounds like a movie. Eastbound and down. We've got a long way to go and a short time to get there with the Ohio truckload of tube radios. All right, well, I hope you make it. I know you'll make it, so give us an update when you do, and I'm sure you will be like the Santa Claus of CB with those tube radios. So thanks for checking in 57. Oh, over to SWL 58. I'll get Jeremy checked in from far off lands. He's going to find a way to sneakily check in from his location one of these days. It'd be pretty cool. We'll be hearing him come in. Over to SWL 59. And let's try this guy. I know he's out there. SWL 60.
Thank you much, here, Dennis. Doggone it, we've got a lot of noise on this end. We hope you have a copy on this. SWL 60, trying to make the trip back to you.
60, you are working. Maybe there's some type of a noise generator that's going on in the north part of town or something, because you aren't the first one or the second one to report the noisy conditions tonight. I've got my RF gain clamped down pretty tight so that I don't drive the SWLs who are listening in crazy with the noise that I have here. So you're sounding good, and we've got you checked in.
I appreciate it, Dennis. Thanks a whole bunch.
Over to SWL61. All right, I never know how this guy can hear me. My signal is so bad, but he manages to pull me out of the mud. All right, thanks, Dino. We got you checked in. And from north of Fresno to way north, and maybe a bit of east of Fresno, up there in North Dakota, looking for King Duckford. Must be speaking to the to the crew tonight. I don't know. Was KD, was he on Old Radio Night tonight? I'm not sure if I saw him or not. I'll have to go back. Go back on the roster and see what was going on. Let's go over to SWL 63. Shortwave listener 64. SWL 65. We got a proxy check in for Eric. No problem there. SWL 66. And over to SWL 67. That's Bill in Canby, Oregon, right up there in the front row. And Bill, as always, let me in. They changed from the keys to this little combination number thing. And I think they update. They update the numbers, and they never tell me what the unlock numbers are. So Bill always has to go beep, 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 and let me in the door. Thank you, Bill. Wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for you. Let's go to SWL 68. SWL 69. And that's Kenny. Kenny was in earlier. I think he left and had to go to bed because it's late there, but got to hear some of the crew here from Central California. Kenny, if you're watching the replay, we do have you checked in. And yeah, I don't think I had the audio turned up when you were on earlier, but many of your fan base here in Fresno and Clovis and parts beyond said hello, radio. And there is, let me stop. We're stopping the program because I just saw Jimmy, Railroader, SWL 34, checking in. And Little Toot, let me see. I'm not even going to practice anymore because Jimmy has told me, he has sent me the best way to check in. When SWL 34 is ready to go. And there's a video. I don't know if I can show the video. It might be copyrighted, but this is what I attempt to do with my little whistle. But it's hard to do. See, it's difficult. All right, that's a little better with the sound effects. Jimmy, thanks for all you do on not only the Old Tube Radio CB network page, Old Tube CB Radio network page, but just about every other, 150 other pages that you do to keep us all updated on radios and good stuff like that. And then where did we go? Oh, I know where we go. How about SWL 70? Over to SWL 71. I did see Stan in on the other roster checking in from beautiful Dallas, Georgia. Thanks, Stan, for joining us tonight. Over to SWL 72. SWL 73. I'm going to get a proxy check in for John, who is probably on a classic Old Tube Radio, but a non-Class D. Probably weighs, 80 or 90 pounds. Probably pounding some CW out of that machine. Over to SWL 74. SWL 75. Shortwave listener 77.
Well, hello everybody, and I hope everybody's having a great evening and hopefully a wonderful weekend coming. And 77 on the Tower of Power, checking in.
Checking in and sounding good. I heard you mention doing the 410 shift. I used to do a lot of those at the TV station. They were my favorite thing to do, but and I know you are a busy guy. The problem is, and it was always more than 10 hours, which yours is. The problem is you have that extra day, but you know what that extra day is for? It's like to recuperate from the last 4 days. But anyway, you're sounding good.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
77 is in. He was, in fact, that's probably why the mini grass is behaving, because Dennis got on earlier when they were coming through and told them we could hear them. And to don't even bother putting the pickup truck out in the ocean. We can hear you and you're doing good. So I think they all went back inside and leaving us alone here tonight. Where are we going? SWL 78. Richard is in from Wild Wildemore. I saw some new stations coming in. Miami, Florida. Hello to you. Rockford, Illinois. Hello to you. And Wild Wildemore coming in tonight. Hello, Richard. I saw you in there. Let's go to SWL 79. And SWL 80. And then I had an early check-in for Steve, Mr. Unicorn, SWL 81. So got Steve in tonight. And, Bob and Steve are in tonight. They are on the video side, checking in from Ohio tonight. So let me get them checked in. And I'm not sure what they have up their sleeve. We had a lot of rain on Monday. So people were out at the pool, but they were hiding under the big 9-foot umbrellas with the metal. You know what rain sounds like? No, I can't even do it. It sounds like on that 9-foot metal umbrella, but it's kind of cool. So not a lot of pool activity. It's going to get warmer, so might be out of the pool. But you know what? The pool is heated. How do I know that? Because I'm going to get the bill. It's probably show up on the Costco card for the heated pool, but everybody will have fun. Another proxy check-in for SWL 82, Ron, who is, they think he's away from the coiled cord microphonium tonight doing some fun stuff. You got to do that every now and then. You got to stop the regular stuff and do the fun stuff. So, Ron, you are checked in. Over to SWL 84. And I will get Jerry checked in tonight. And I must do this. Let me try not to break anything as I go behind me and do the ceremoniously lighting of the E.F. Johnson Messenger 223 without fail from the collection of 84 tonight. Let's go to SWL 85. We will also get the check-ins for the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl, SWL 86, 87, and 88 respectively. SWL 89. A proxy check-in for SWL 90. Don't go away. If I didn't mention it, I'm sure I did. We will be chatting with our classic tube radios coming up. What do they say on television? In just moments. So so join us, won't you? Hello to John, the mighty Juliet Whiskey. saying hello from Iowa. KJG4755 from KEO8492. I'm still looking for my original license from back in 1970. It's here somewhere in a box, but I'm not finding it. Let's go over to Felix, who is in. As always, Felix is one of the first people to help me make sure that my video chat is working. Got a check-in for 91 and saying hello to not only Net Control here tonight, but the shortwave listeners and all the old tube operators. Thank you, Felix, for staying up late as always. Next we go to SWL 92. SWL 93. SWL 95. Hope the 95 is doing okay, doing good. If you're watching the replay, I'm getting you checked in tonight. There you are, right there. He's checking in from Orlando, Florida. Where all things are good. Thank you for jumping in tonight, 95. We have Miami, and Miami is also listening in tonight, so Florida's represented. Hello to the Mountain View Google bots, just tuned in. They occasionally check in and listen and keep an eye on us to make sure we're not doing any type of illegal YouTube no-nos, and we never do. We have fun here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to SWL 96. And SWL 97. This is a station out there from Boston, 97. Not sure if I can be heard tonight, but Tracy, SWL 98, is right there. All right. I saw you earlier, and I didn't know if you tried to do a check-in. All right. Well, from where you say you are at, you would probably have to have the walkie-talkie and extend the giant antenna and then find a clip lead up to the probably up to the air conditioning vent or maybe a window. We might hear you, but thanks for the extra effort tonight, and you are checked in, and hope the recovery is going well. We go up to SWL 99. And SWL 100. Tony is in. Tony, if you are on the Echo link, because sometimes it doesn't show me who's linked in, take a transmission, because I've got the audio up on Echo link. I think I checked it out earlier. We didn't get the the out of service test going on, and I think we've paid up our auto insurance policy, so you just never know. But Tony, you are checked in from McClellanville, South Carolina tonight. Over to SWL 103, Jeff, Cheesy Easy 103, checked in from Facebook. SWL 109 up in Auberry. I think everybody is staying in with the hot chocolate tonight. Over to SWL 110. 111. Checked in earlier. Heard him come through, but I'm going to take it on an early night tonight. So, Robert, I've got you checked in. Over to SWL 113. And for those of you up in the balcony, before you come down the green room tonight, say hello to Albert and the gang up there and get some turkey burgers on the barbecue, popcorn, and soda. Sounds good. I can always kind of, if they have the air system in here, right, I can always tell a little bit. I can always smell the popcorn because people come down. In fact, Chet and Charlie are munching on popcorn. It is very hard to hold the cue card and do the popcorn thing at the same time, but he manages to do it. Let's go over to SWL 114. SWL 123. Looking for John. John is in there. Said he's got company this evening, so I hope it is one of those good companies, and I'm sure it is. Enjoying the visit. Thanks for jumping into the Radio Shack and saying hello. We got you checked in from Fairfax, Virginia. SWL 131.
131.
All right, 131 checking in. There was actually multiple check-ins there. I might have enough X's to fill up the next 5 weeks. You are sounding good, John. Mr. Root is in.
Yep, thank you very much.
Over to shortwave listener 133. Hey, Dave, 133. Out there in northwest Fresno. Hope you enjoyed the rain. Sounds like it did the antenna some good. I'm hearing you great tonight. Well, let's say, what do they say? Life is too short for QRP, but if that's what you got, that's what we will do. Thanks for checking in. Let's head over to Mr. Green Arrow, SWL 135.
Yeah, if this thing is working. This is SWL 135 checking in.
It's working great, so hang on to that thought, and we'll pick you up when we start glowing in the dark. Over. We have a check-in for 137, or a proxy check-in for 137. And up the hills, we often say to the patient people on page 4, hello, Tony, over.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and thank you for the call. This is Tony 145 in Corsco checking in. I'll be leaving next Saturday for Monterey for a couple weeks, so more than likely I'll be on Echo Link checking in next week. Back to you, Dennis. Thank you for the show.
Okay, yeah, we'll catch you in via Echo Link. And thanks for checking in tonight. The radio is sounding good.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
In fact, that radio is sounding very good on AM tonight. You got it dialed in. Over to SWL 147. Neil is in from Kakalaki, Fayetteville tonight, where there is nice weather and occasional skip from the Caribbean, but otherwise quiet. I don't think we hear that on 11 meters. I will hear that down on the lower frequencies, but at least on this part of the sun cycle, don't hear that. We hear a lot of Hawaii, which is okay. Thanks, Neil, for checking in, and like they say, stand by Monday and Tuesday for whatever that solar event may or may not bring. Let's jump up to SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time down at SWL 188, checking in.
Snow Beast is in. Thanks, Bobby. We've got the X in the square on your old tube radio network.
10-4, thank you.
Over to, there is Butterbean. Let me find the right page. Oh, you're on the backside of the item here in North Georgia, SWL 63. Thank you, Butterbean. Got you checked in. He's rebuilding the Radio Shack. I was looking today, thinking, if I rebuild mine, I've got to start with nothing. Walls and a floor and a ceiling, and then just work on it. Because every time I encounter something, it's like, what is this? This is no good. This is wrong. Why is this here? This should be over here. So the best way to do that is, like you're doing, and just rebuild the whole thing. So, all right. At least you found enough clip leads to check in tonight. Let's head up to Course Gold, SWL 195. From Korshkol, SWL 195, where probably for the first time in a long time there's a view. There's a view up in the sky, and if you look down the hill, you might actually see some twinkling lights of the big city, or the little city. Thanks, Jim. There's another guy like Mark that's probably got... He's probably got 1 million check-ins by now. We've been doing this a long time. I always said when we have the 1,000th tube radio check-in that there's going to be balloons and confetti. So whoever the net controller is at that time is going to have to be careful. Over to the guy with the big ears up on the hill, Jeff, who helps us out here in stations and really does a good job on the Ditch Banks sideband net on Friday night, 36 lower at 8 p.m. SWL 226. And maybe he has called it quits for the evening. It's getting cold. It gets cold up in the hills. Anybody else needs to check in or something I missed? OTR standing by. All right, I'm going to take a minute or two, which is the time I need to set up to get the tube radios up and running and all the other devices that have to do with that. So if you've got a tube radio, we've got plenty of time to check it in, and we would love to do that. We will be back in just moments with your tube radios and information when we can get it about what the tube radios do. And I know I'm going to learn something back in a moment on your old tube radio network. And this is the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Don't you love the Old Tube Radio Network? They're applauding for something. They're applauding for you. They're applauding for you and your classic tube radios and all the time that and money that you've spent in places, shelves that you've had to clear off to put these radios. You just need one. One is good. If you have more than one, then pick some of your favorites. We've got the list ready to go. I've got the tube radio list. There's nothing on it. Actually, I have to add Chris's radio, but there will be some radios on it tonight, checking in from the 10/9 day, October 9th of 2021. And I see, I missed a picture that Bob and Steve sent from in the show files. Let me see if this is going to work. Let me see if this is actually going to work. It's a picture. Oops! It's a picture of the pool. So yeah, if I was to do this, that'll help a little bit. And there is the pool. We got a nice pool house. There's one of the 33 umbrellas. If they had a panorama shot, you would see the special 33, table 33, the one that has the metal antenna for transmitting. We've got the fountains. You go inside if it's raining. You don't want the pool, and the flora and fauna. Let me tell you, I spent a lot of time working on that flora and fauna. So that is the OTR pool. Is very, very nice, and all are welcome. And it is heated, because I have beautiful. Yeah, DD21 says it's beautiful. I think it is too, and that I got to take a swim in that pool, fully clothed. But it's a nice thing. All right, let's go to some radios. OTR will stop talking, and I'll say we're listening for your radio check-ins.
135, 135.
45, 45.
And if you are not out by the pool, perhaps you are out by your radio. So stop on by. We'll get you checked in. Hi, Paul. You'll be radio number 2. Head over in the green room, grab some food and things, and we'll be right with you. Cliff, Mr. Green Arrow, step up into the air chair. And while you do, I will say that tonight I'm going to populate the pocket protector on the Sears Sucker suit with our sponsor of the evening, with this cool pen here, the Radio Supply Company out of Livingston, Montana. Zip code 59047, 209 South Main. Zenith dealer, sales and service. So for those of you who have Zenith, I have one of the shutter-dialed Zenith radios in the other room from probably the late 1940s. I'm not a good enough collector to give you, it says 5S47025J. So I apologize to the Zenith collectors watching. Maybe I'll figure out how to find the model number on that, but it's got the big shutter dial, and it has the turntable on the top and some record storage, and it is probably about, 4 feet high, and it is one heavy beast to move. Speaking of radios, I'm not sure, I doubt Zenith ever made a Citizen Band radio, but 135 is going to tell us who made the one that he is on. Hello, Cliff, over.
Okay. This is SWL 135 on a radio that is hopefully working. It appears to be working, I hope. Okay. Let's see, from Rockford, Michigan, and the land of the rising sun, this is the Robin T123. That's just the 123. The one with the magic eye, not the B model. 23 channels, all 23 channels, with a blank channel in between 22 and 23. So no waiting on the transmit and receive crystal control channels there. This has the copper chassis, which is kind of cool. You're hearing me through the Robin MT1 desktop amplified type microphone. And, oh yes, there are 11 tubes in this thing. It's a small base mobile radio, as many people who have these know. But it's got 11 tubes packed into this thing, including the 6RE13 Magic Eye tube, which is opening and closing with my modulation. Back to you.
And your modulation sounds great. The radio is doing good. There was a post before about all things green, or it was going to be good to be green. Here is our first green radio, the Robin T123, and we are lucky enough to actually have a photo of the radio on which Cliff is talking, because this is from his collection, and we are equally bonus lucky, is that such a word, in that it shows the, and I believe that is the MT1 desk-style microphone that is kind of unobtainium these days. I hear a lot of people saying, I want one of those MT1s, and you are hearing one attached to the Robin radio. Nice audio, good, clear, full fidelity, not overdriven at all. I don't think the 123 had the range boost circuit, and it wasn't the second Panasonic chassis, but it does do a good job. And like Cliff mentioned, if you are able to see the video or even the picture that we have, the rectangular kind of marking, the cutout in the center of the radio is where they side. We're actually looking in the side of that magic eye tube, and when Cliff talks, which he will be doing in moments, that little tube will, the two little tops and bottoms will try to come together to make 100% modulation. Back to you.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point you made there. Unlike the B model, this does not have the range expand, so it does benefit from an amplified microphone for sure. I have it set to 12 o'clock. I've been told that seems to be doing the job. I'm talking about a foot away, so hopefully it's working well and doing its job. And a word on the theme this month for me is spooky magic eyes. This one is, as you mentioned, it's vertical. Mounted vertically, on the inside of the radio, as opposed to last week's. Last week's was the EM87 mounted horizontally in the Demco satellite. This is essentially the same tube, but from the Japanese manufacturers. It's a 6RE13, and it's mounted vertically and does exactly the same job. It opens and closes with your modulation to let you know, hopefully, if your radio is working properly. And it sure is working well on receive. This thing has good, loud, selectable receive. Front firing speaker is as much as I need. You can hook up an external speaker to it, of course. But I find, like some of these radios, it doesn't really need it. It's good and loud audio from a reasonably sized speaker. Produces good receive audio. Back to you.
No, it produces great audio, just nice and clear, good fidelity, no overmodulation, and I hope you'll get a chance to pick up the replay, because you will be pleased. One of our listeners says, the Greek god of tube CB radios, the Robin tonight. Let me switch for those that may be watching the video. Here is the tube. So you're looking directly into the side of the tube, and that is the top and the bottom. And then when we go back to the radio, and they put it right in front, and then they cut a little hole out of the front of the radio, and then you only see the little illuminated part. You might not even know that it is a tube, but indeed it is. The 6RE13 Magic Eye tube. Give us another transmission before you go, you mentioned it was 12-volt DC, 115-volt AC. I believe there's 2 separate cords, and you've got to make sure that it gets wired right and not crossed, because bad things will happen. 11 tubes, 2 transistors, which I think is probably for the DC to DC conversion or something for the 12-volt DC. And there is more information if you have a Sam's Photo Fact number 35, starting on page 95. I will slip over to the Orban loudness meter so you can watch that, and away you go.
Okay. Let's see, 0848. So I'm pretty close to right on frequency here, 270848, close enough for jazz. Incidentally, on the nice red glowing meter, which glows red in contrast to all the other green happening here, you are 20 over, looking very good. The meter's working really good. It's nice to have that kind of red contrast. It's almost more of a Christmas radio than Halloween, maybe, because you get the red and the green going on here. Incidentally, on mine, it has a green, the channel selector is in green, but the numbers are white on the green background for channel 11. And although the Magic Eye looks green, that's because there's a gel, a piece of translucent green plastic in front of the Magic Eye display, or the target as they call it. And it makes it look like it's a good old American green in color. In fact, it's actually a blue phosphor, which is found in European Magic Eye tubes. Americans had, good old American green phosphor that we dug out of the ground here, and the Russians had yellow to red in their Magic Eye tubes. Just an interesting note on Magic Eye tubes. With that, yeah, I can't wait to see the replay and all that kind of good stuff, and we'll go ahead and let the channel roll. It's chilly out here.
Indeed it is. I moved the picture over to the MT1 microphone, and in 25 words or less on the MT1, do you recall, does that run a typical 9-volt battery? I can see the rotary control on the back for the volume, or rather for the gain adjustment. And I'm thinking you probably don't have it super cranked. It just sounds good. It's pleasant all the way around, and doing the radio nice. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, and frequency is perfect. I don't have to touch the dial. I can flip to the sideband. I can still hear you with a little bit of heterodyne. I move 300 cycles, and you are right there. Back to you. Thanks for the radio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no problem. A note on the MT1. I have it at 12 o'clock on the little dial back there. That seems to be a good setting for it. And there is a lockdown switch just off to the right of that knob, right? And it is a fully electronic lockdown, unlike the turners and stuff like that, which is actually a lever that physically flips the switch down. This actually doesn't maneuver the switch here at all. It just electronically locks the mic into transmit, which is kind of neat, and again, different from the turners that actually physically, move your lever down. And again, I'm glad it's working. I think it's a good match for this radio. And made by the same people, too. What more do you want? Okay, with that, thanks, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, thanks for getting us started off here on the Move Your Lever frequency from Robin. Oh, where did you mention? Did you say the manufacturer is? What city? What state?
Rockford, Michigan, I think, is where they had their business offices, but these were made in Japan, and again, has the cool copper-clad chassis.
That is right. Not the second Panasonic chassis, but a different one altogether. The Robin T123B, sounding good. Thanks for getting us started off. And there's usually a lot of birds. If they're eagles or robins or something, we will check them in. Thank you, Cliff. And I do see, Paul is walking up to the air chair, and hopefully the conditions are good enough so that you can hear my transmission. I know I can hear you. Hello, Paul, over.
Hey, guys. I'd like to check in my Journal Radio telephone, Super MC12.
Okay, we'll go for, if we have a regular bird, we'll go for a rare bird. And the General Radio Telephone Super MC12. I hope Ron Barton is watching, because he's a fan of the General Radio Telephones, and especially the 11A and the 12. And I'm thinking he might have a few of these, or maybe one. If not, he's going to get to hear yours, the Super MC12, and it looks like it's from your collection. I'm not sure if that's the one you are on, but tell us about it. And it looks, I've noticed the rack handles on the 12. They look like they are really heavy-duty rack handles on that 12. Over.
Okay, well, I'll go through a little history of this thing. This is Jim's #1 radio that you're looking at. It kind of had a transmission trouble. It lost a major, I'm trying to think of it right now. Anyway, it lost the major power source of the thing, and then I got in with this one. And this is also the same as that one, exactly. If you know these things, they don't use 800 tubes anymore. Of course, we're only in a small time. I'm having a hard time tonight. Anyway, it's having a hard time keeping this thing going. Anyway, the Skyhawk antenna company, as you know, went out of business, and FCC kind of put them down. And this thing has a CM3 ceramic microphone on the thing, which is made by Turner, which I think is kind of interesting. Gets a lot of modulation on this mic. I don't know how it sounds. It said to back off about 12 inches on it. I'm doing that right now. I hope it's going to sound good on the archive.
Yeah, you're just right. I think it sounds good. I'm not hearing any background noise. I don't hear a flat topping or distortion. And I'm actually surprised that you are that far away from the microphone with some still good quality. The Super MC12, as Paul mentioned, much like the MC11A, General Radio Telephone sold to the Skyhawk Antenna Company in 1972. General Radio Telephone got out just about in time, because I think maybe they saw that the solid-state radios were coming in, that the overseas import radios were coming in, and it was going to be a tough time on keeping the product price point where it needed to be competitive. The MC12 upgraded with the powerful final audio tube. And like I said, you got to be careful when you have something like that if you lose a transformer, because it's hard to find. The last General Radio Telephone CB manufactured, we have the MC100, but I don't think that was ever manufactured on a large scale. But this was manufactured enough to get out the door, and a few people have them. Paul is one, and he shares it with us on the Old Tube Radio Network when we are lucky, like tonight. Paul, it sounds good. Back to you for a transmission, and I always love the history and the radio from 1972. Over.
Okay. Yeah, this thing has a super explosive in it. That was quite a big deal for those. It's explosive off-gain. It explodes control. So you turn them both one and get both of them. And it really works. It helps a lot, I'll tell you. So anyway, they had that going. Didn't last very long. But they're a real nice radio. Thanks for checking it in.
And thanks for bringing it by. Always a pleasure to check it in. And a honk of the proboscis, the Bozo Control proboscis for the radio, and also for a speedy recovery there for Captain Robert. Hello to, who else is listening tonight? Uncle Hairball's in on the video tonight. Hello to Germantown, Wisconsin, up in the balcony enjoying some popcorn tonight in the Old Tube Radio Network, looking for Radio 3. But before we do that, from a poolside or wherever, the Old Tube Radio Network jingle singers.
How do you do, ladies? gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
The Old Tube Radio Network is standing by and listening for radio number 3. I'll tell you one thing, the way to keep the noise level down is back that RF gain control up. It sounds like there's nobody out there. And maybe there is, or isn't. Was tuning through the 75-meter amateur radio band. See if anybody is on AM tonight. And I don't hear any carriers. There were some people on this afternoon with some really good signals, but this may be the only place for AM activity on the West Coast right now here at the Old Tube Radio Network, looking for radio number 3. And Butterbean, you bring up a good point that actually is something to do when you're reconfiguring the radio room, because there are a lot of noise generators you don't know about. I found out that the switching power supply in my audio board, you turn that on, you can hear a little bit of noise. And then I had a light. I had an LED work light that I was using to illuminate the room for the video. And I just by chance happened to turn that off and said, hey, there goes my noise. So that LED light was out of the radio room. So a good time to, as you bring things back into the mix, as you put things back onto the shelf, to turn them on and listen around and see who's been causing all that accumulative interference that you didn't know about, and then, like you said, move them to the place where they aren't so noisy. looking for Radio 3, and that is a possibility. Maybe our friends at Espresso Trucking Company can stir up the frequency a little bit. Maybe sometimes you need a bit of DX to get things rolling on your old tube radio network.
Hello, DX, my old friend. I've come to shoot skip once again, because my linear softly tweaking pinned your meter while I was speaking, and the audio that punched through your RF gain is not to blame. It's just the sounds of DX. In restless dreams I talked alone, when no DX could reach my zone. Neath the halo of an old 2-amp, I keep my mic down like a DX jam. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of my on-air light, it lit the night and filled my ears with DX. And in the distant night I heard an eagle sing an ancient bird. People talking without breaking. People talking about nothing. People keying old tube rigs that crackle through the air without a care, and fill the waves with DX. I said, Rosie, do not know how to work an oscilloscope. Watch my TikTok that I might teach you. Swing your beam so that I might reach you. But my words, like burnt out vinyl sound, it's just as well echoed in the walls of my shack. The operators out and prayed to the noise they had made, and the scope flashed out its warning in the ways that it was forming. Net control said the words of the text are written in the photo facts and CD tricks, and whisper in the sound of DX.
Break OTR.
Yeah, somebody needs to break for OTR. Espresso Trucking Company. Somebody wanted to know if they thought that might have been UFO Phil from Coast to Coast Video. Maybe it is the ghost of Art Bell, W6OBB. We'll see if we can't get some DX. OTR standing by, listening for radio number 3. And I don't even know if the Bulldogs are playing tonight or not. DD21 says 3 ovations required. 1 standing, 1 sitting, and I'm not sure about the other one. And 73 to 63. Good night, Butterbean.
Break OTR.
The sounds of silence, the sounds of DX, and the sound of an old tube radio number 3. Hello, Ed.
And hello, Dennis. This time I'm going to bring the Tram TR27E. Big, green, and working, I hope.
Working well. No issues on your first or second key ups. The station that mentioned something about green tonight has been quite accurate. Let me go to, for the video site, I'm going to add the full screen advertisement talking about the TR27E, another step forward in CB communications, the base station, the receiver with lots of sensitivity and a great signal-to-noise ratio. The Tram 23 base station, renowned for its superior performance and dependability under the most exacting conditions, is now offered in an improved model. Improved from what? The TR27E, in addition to the many features that are standard, you will find. And Ed will key down and we'll see some of those, or we'll hear some of those. Go ahead.
There you go, the big green radio with the 5x7 speaker and the good old S meter that's quite large, and yeah, I can actually see it even without my glasses, so it's good for old guys. It's also about 3.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall. We also have the old modulation light, which is winking and blinking, telling me that there's actually some modulation going through this thing. And I also have the Electro Voice 638 microphone. I do have a Turner that matches the one of the advertisement to put on this, but I actually haven't hooked it up to try it yet because this one works so well.
Yeah, don't need to. It works well. And a radio this large, you wonder why, and this is back in 1963 when it was sort of in vogue and other electronic devices were using the magic eye tubes. There is just a ton of space for either a cool, the Pac-Man style look at the top of the tube, or what Cliff had on his Robin 6RE13 for a little bit of modulation fun. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think Tram ever did have in any of their radios the magic eye tube. Some of those new features on the radio, and Ed probably knows about this, the S meter is now a d'Arsenal moving coil type with an illuminated panoramic scale accurately calibrated to 60 dB over S9. The cabinet now has an extra durable wrinkle finish. I think we talked about that before. Let me break here for a second. You said yours was repainted and it doesn't have the wrinkle finish. Am I remembering correctly, or am I wrong?
No, it still has the wrinkle finish.
It has the wrinkle finish, all right. The extra durable wrinkle finish. The 23-channel selector switch carries the channel number illuminated in the panel. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to the picture of that, which is going to be off the screen until I scroll it back up. And that panel is tiny.
Oh, the panel? Oh, which panel was that?
On the 23-channel illuminated, they're touting the illuminated channel selector in the panel there, but it's illuminated, but you better be sitting close by to see that.
Oh yes. It's smaller than the fingernail on my pinky finger, so yeah, it's really small. I don't. It is barely illuminated, but yeah, not that great.
All right. I wonder if that's. I don't think. No, it's too low to be a turret, where they'd have the crystals on it, and they had to do that because it's a turret turning around. So I would imagine with the illumination, it probably does okay. Once you illuminate stuff, that light goes out. Light goes out might not be a good thing. Other things, the receiver overload characteristic is improved by 20 dB. Adjacent channel rejection is improved by approximately 5 dB. And in many other respects, the overall excellence of tram equipment has been given extraordinary consideration and effort. Now, I think you said I'm coming over with, 20 or 30. So I'm going to do a little test here with adjacent channel rejection. So I'll stay keyed up, and I'll go to an adjacent channel just right now. We're on an adjacent channel. You on the internet don't know that I'm on an adjacent channel, and then we're coming back into channel 11. I'm going to go into the other adjacent channel here on this side, and we're checking your adjacent channel rejection. There's your adjacent channel rejection test. Back to you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was interesting because when you started to go over to the other channel, you completely faded away to nothing. I didn't hear anything at all, both ways.
Yeah, because you've got all those improvements. I went to the adjacent channel that is basic in the RC channel to the north, and then down to channel 10 to the south. So, and we are relatively close. So a station that is properly modulated and not, emitting spurious radiations, that unit will take care of it.
Oh, that it does. Good old Collins mechanical filter, and yeah, they did a good job on this one. I really like the receive on this. Yeah, the Browning Mark III and this radio are the two that I like the best on receive.
All right, I'm trying to get where did the picture go? Oh, there it is. Put it the magic eye. Giant speaker. I don't know if that's a 5x3 or 6x9, but nice front mounted speaker. There's something to be said. It's like an old car. There's something to be said for that 59 Lincoln Continental. with the trunk you can have a picnic on. Extra space just means it's easy to do stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, 5x7. Nice large speaker. So yeah, that gives you an idea of the size of the radio. It's not small.
Okay, external receive. Okay, underneath, one more question. Let me go to the extreme. Maybe I can answer my question here. And why does it do that? I don't know. I don't know. I'm all over the place with the picture. But what I'm going to do is I lost it. I've totally messed things up here. I did a very bad thing. Anyway, back to you for transmission. Okay, there we go. And what was my question was going to be the crystal socket. Is that for a transmit or a receive crystal over?
That is for a receive crystal. Yeah, X-Tal receive only.
All right, that's what I thought it said. Have you ever tried putting a receive crystal in there?
Yes, I have, and it did absolutely nothing.
Okay, maybe you had more X than tau. I'm fixing up my screen here that I messed up. I think that's a little bit better. Radio number 3, Mr. Ed on the tram TR27E. Let me see if the picture's to come back. Yeah, kind of, sort of. Good stuff. One heck of a nice radio. He's got the Electro Voice microphonium that the Collins crew likes to use, that is made for the impedance for the tube radios, and it works well. As you can tell, there's no overmodulation, just a nice voice. Thanks for bringing by the tram today.
Thank you very much, and with that, we'll see if we can't get at least one more radio on the air.
All right, we'll be around, myself, the tube radios, the SWLs, and, of course, those jingle singers.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
And we are listening for radio number 4.
45.
Hello, Paul. You're sounding good at Old Tube Radio Net Control. If you can hear me, over.
Yeah.
kind of use this as filler. This is not near the radio that I was talking on earlier, but it's working, I think. The Lafayette Comsat 35.
Ooh, let me go to the Rolodex under the L and flip those little cards and see if I can find. Now I've got a 19 and a 23 and a 25B. I'm going to see if I've got a Lafayette Comstat 35. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, I do remember this. This is the one, this is Bozo Control's favorite radio, I think, because it has the kind of a honking proboscis channel selector over.
That's the red nose. I like that on the thing. It's kind of, it's unique. Back to you.
It is, and I don't know if they all had that. And it's sort of got that off-center channel selector window. It's 11 tubes, so I'm wondering if it is indeed possibly a Panasonic chassis. I'm seeing that it was manufactured in Korea by Panasonic, so I bet that is a maybe version 2 of the Panasonic chassis, because it has the 12AX7 and the audio and the 11 tubes. A good signal. The audio is a bit weak. I'm definitely going to say you're at probably 60 or 70% modulation. It sounds good. The modulation sounds good. There's just not a lot of it over.
Yeah, if I don't ask you this question, I got a noise level that comes and goes, and when it comes, it's impossible. I don't know what's going on. It happens up there quite often. Anyway, this thing has 23 channels. It has a place for 24 in the thing, which is interesting. They had just a blank thing in there, would understand. I'm running an M6B power handheld microphone made by Aesthetic, the T104 handheld. It seemed to do a pretty good job on the thing. I was going to keep with it as long as it continued to run. Yes, I made quite a few of these radios for Panasonic. This is one of them. Back to you.
You are correct. One of the Panasonic chassis. It seems to be a good Panasonic chassis radio tonight. You can't go wrong with them. They're the workhorse, and I think manufacturers knew that, and it was easy to sort of take the internal workings and then brand your outside of the radio and still have a product that you knew you could sell and would work well, and as has been proven tonight, will last well into 50 years and then be highlighted on the old tube radio network. Indeed, confirmed a second-generation Panasonic radio, and we don't get many of the 35, so thanks for bringing it by tonight, Paul. Over.
Okay, show you this part right here. It's my range boost. That's about it all right now. It kind of brings it up pretty good, I think. Back to you.
No, it did bring it up. Brought a little bit of low frequency in. It brought the amount of modulation up. So don't add any more. Don't add any more. I think that does just fine. I'm going to check, take another transmission. I'll see if that's actually moving the S meter now when you key down.
Okay. I'm looking on this archive. It'd be fun to listen to this thing. I'll leave it on right now. I'll take it back down right now. It's not a whole lot of difference. I'll be darned. Who knows? These things never fail to destroy me. I'm just completely at zero. Back to you.
Okay, well, it dropped one little bar on the carrier, so I think you were inserting with the range boost enough audio to push, to push the limit on your carrier level there and still sound okay. So either way, I can hear you. The range boost is set up. It's not super, extra gain, but it's just enough to push the radio into a little bit more power output. The Comstat 35 from Lafayette and Panasonic for our radio for tonight. It's sounding good. Over.
Okay, I got it all right now. Now it's working super. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Dennis.
Hey, thanks for bringing it by. The Old Tube Radio Network, doing what we do best, and that's standing by for our tube radio operators to, like you would on an old car show at the corner hamburger stand, let the fins and the chrome and the coolness parade by. We are standing by. And Uncle Hairball, the T-Berry was also, a couple of the T-Berry, the Model T, 23, and the 40 channel, I believe, are all the Panasonic number 2 chassis or the number 2 23 channel chassis as well. So you've got a good radio underneath. Yeah, who is the station? This is OTR.
I thought this was the Hey Dennis channel.
Okay, there you go. Your audio broke up a little bit on the Hey Dennis, so I think all I got was the Hey, and not a Nani No. But it is not springtime for the Hey Nani No. I'm running over to the SWL list. Too many L's back to back. And I am checking in. Yea, verily, I am putting the mark for SWL 70. How is it going up there where the air is clear?
Going good. Hopefully this thing's working okay. Yeah, going good. Thanks for the late check-in. It's nice and cool, and the air's clean, and yeah, life's good, man. How you doing?
I am doing okay. Just seems like things have been super busy, so it's always nice to jump into the air chair of the old Tube Radio Network and listen to those cool radios, yours included.
All right. Thanks, Dennis. The list doesn't have any tubes, but thanks anyway. All right. Have a great evening.
All right, I will. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the net, you don't have to have a tube radio. You don't have to have ever checked in before. Heck, I guess you don't even have to have a radio now that we've got streaming and video and all that stuff. But you do have to check in and say hello occasionally here on the old Tube Radio Network. My screens are fading away. Who is in? Who is in new? Oops. Turned myself off here. Inez, Kentucky is up in the balcony saying hello, radio up there where it is Sunday morning, 65 degrees. And did you know that Inez is a home rule class city and the county seat of Martin County, Kentucky? The population was 717 in the 2010 census. So thanks for joining us tonight. Also joining us tonight, GWD Laps, who occasionally checks in to make sure that I'm not slumming on some cheap equipment. We've got the compeller up tonight. I am pushing some big audio into the compeller before it goes into all the other stuff tonight. And it probably, you know what? It may not make a bit of difference. I basically do that so that I can keep that asymmetrical positive peaks down, you know, push it as much as I can, but keep it down so that it will look good, and whoever is impressed by that kind of thing, and there aren't many, gets impressed by that. The main thing is that we have some audio and that we have our tube radios checking in, and we are standing by for radio number 5.
Number 7.
All right, you just got SWL 30's attention. He's been waiting all night for a golden eagle to show up. Sort of breaking the chain of the Panasonic chassis of radios, you can't go wrong with a Browning. Notice how I'm predicting the radio that I'm about to check in. Back to you.
Well, I guess you could probably tell by the key up that, yep, it is a Browning. The Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB on the air light is shining at me, telling me something is definitely going on. The little needle on the transmitter is definitely slamming the side, so it should be working quite well. And, of course, have the D104 Golden Eagle microphone also.
As per our picture, it says that's a Mark III advertisement. That is not an advertisement. That is actually the radio that's up on the screen at oldtuberadio.net on the video. That is from Green Arrow. That is Cliff's collection and his Golden Eagle microphonium. Your ping is good. It's not screechy. Your ping is very musical tonight. Give us a few more. For those of you that don't like the Brownings because of the ping, the way Ed has it tonight is perfect. Give us a couple key downs.
Yeah, I found that if I keep it just about a foot in front of the speaker, it makes a quite nice tone and does not really a screech. But I can, of course, make it screech quite long.
Yes, you can do that. That's the nice thing about the Eagle. You can orchestrate your ping, or I don't know, customize it for your mood. But I just noticed that one and I'm wearing headphones, so. Yeah, if I was, talking to somebody on a screechy, pingy Browning Eagle for 2 hours in the headphoniums, this is the kind of ping that I would want. Radio 5 is sounding pretty good. What do we figure? There's about 18 or 19 tubes between the transmitter and the receiver on this radio. It's classic transmitter receiver, not the last from Browning, but close. The Mark IV, of course, was after this, but out of the Laconia factory, this was almost, maybe, just about as good as it gets.
Yeah, I favor the Mark III over any of the other radios. The receive and everything on it is just so clean. It rivals the best of the HF modern ham radios that I have. So yeah, it does extremely well for a radio that was built back in the 70s.
Yes, it does, and that's something we mentioned before, that the 50 years time on a lot of these radios doesn't do like a car for 50 years that you don't. A lot of these radios don't have a lot of maintenance. At least they don't leak. I hope your Browning's not leaking oil. No. Although it did have a couple of issues, but good old Red Monkey and Harvey were able to take care of those problems. Indeed. Red Monkey, out there in Cheyenne, Wyoming, who has kept, and I mentioned this before, kept a lot of our radios on the air for a long time, and a lot of the radios that you hear coming through are courtesy of the good folks over there at Red Monkey Communications. When they were here in town, they were out in... They're traveling the road these days, but look for them in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Radio number 5, Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, adding to our tube count and to our very good sound of tube radios. Thanks for bringing it by. I thought maybe I was going to have to bring out another Espresso Trucking musical selection to get the birds, to get the eagles to fly, but you have helped us out.
Well, there you go. I just could not let go with have at least one Browning coming into the OTR. May have to warm up one more. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and take a listen.
And we are listening for Radio 6. The Jingle Singers have had it easy tonight, so I'm going to work them overtime here tonight.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
Now, there is a... I think I can radio for sure.
Oh, don't I love it? All hands on deck radio. You gotta hold everything to get it. I gotta fix this. Okay, number 20. On what? Why don't I do this?
Okay, I hear you. But your audio is a tad, and that's capital T, capital A, capital D, a tad low on the Barefoot Browning, but it sounds good. It doesn't have the other items. And I believe you said it's an R2700A and a 23. What is the transmitter? Is it the 23S9 over? It's a little bit better. The microphone could be bad, as you say. I'm not sure if you're on one of your standard microphoniums. There isn't a lot of low frequency at all, but again, we're on a Browning that tends to roll off anything below 300 hertz. But you're on the air. Take a transmission. Okay, yeah. Let's see if it makes a difference, because you are, 30% modulation, and there just isn't any low end at all. So there may be a lot of things going on. Here's an advertisement. I don't have a date for the advertisement. The greatest pair on the air for sea beers who demand the very best, and it's showing the R2700A, which is the receiver on which Harvey is listening, and the 23S9, which is the transmitter to which we at the Old Tube Radio Network are listening. The 23S9 brings all-channel operation to your base station, has standing wave indicator. Really? Okay, tell me about that, Harvey. Pi network circuitry, TVI trap, spotting switch, and many other features that make it the talk of the airwaves. Also available, the famous S9 and compact transmitters, which we've talked about before. Let me see if you are back. Over.
Okay. Change the head. Could be the battery in the mic. The meter seems to show decent modulation, but you'll let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to say the modulation is decent. Let me look at the S meter. It may just be the signal is low and we have a little bit of signal to noise. Because I'm not, obviously when you're without the range boost, it's clean and it's a lot easier to evaluate the audio per se. So I'm going to say the audio out of the radio is doing what it should do in quality-wise. Now, take a transmission. It may just be the weakness is just due to the signal strength over.
Okay, signal strength. Well, output wattage 3 to 6, which is lower than most of my other Brownings, but I don't feel like doing this one. Comment on general.
Interesting. So I guess the thing to do would be to try and get a date. And is it 1972, 73, before that? The MC100 could have been a prototype prior to the 11A and the 12 that they wanted to bring out to kind of deal with, Tram and Browning, the big tabletop radio. And it just never made it. I moved the RF gain control a little bit. I had it clamped down pretty much tonight to get rid of the noise. So I've opened it up, and it actually did help your audio gain because you were getting into the my RF gain control. But it also brought in, hello Kitty, it brought in the noise floor. So you'll notice that, but you'll also notice your audio went up. So from what I'm hearing, I'm going to say you're fine. You're good on the audio. It's where it should be. And it's matching the amount of signal that you have, which is a bit into my noise. So I think you've done well on that combination over.
Okay, I turned on the range boost again, but I gotta put my hand on top of the thing. Okay, I'm gonna switch the head back. And I've got another one to check in since we still have some time. And I'm going to check the battery in this mic. Okay, we'll be out.
Yeah, check the battery. You brought your signal up a little bit out of the noise. It's not as clean on the audio, but it works. So I think you're good. I think the radio is doing what it should do. And if you don't have that, 9.8 volts and it's down to 7.2, yeah, give it to somebody to do the tongue test, and we'll be back. Thanks for radio number 6 on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR.
Let's do some adding.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
And there's what the noise, for the SWLs listening on the receiver, that's what my noise sounds like tonight when I don't have the RF gain shut down. And that is with the noise blanker in, and as many noise-making LED devices turned off that I can. And I have a picture that I want to put up. And let's see, I think Harvey he's probably listening. Let me see if I can do this. The Old Tube Radio Network. There it is. Yeah, okay. Is that the best I'm going to get? And I will for those... Oh, I see what I'm doing. for those who are... who don't have the picture, I'll try to describe it. Here's an advertisement. This is from the Old Tube CB Radio Network Facebook, but it's the Polycom Citizen Band transceiver that we have had check in. I think Paul has one of these. The Polycom N or N. And if you scroll down to the bottom, it says, now available at Harvey, Harvey Radio Incorporated, established 1927 at 103 West 43rd Street in New York. So I just wonder if Harvey's been not telling us about where he gets all these radios from. Harvey Radio Incorporated. We'll have to ask him about that. And why doesn't he have the Polycom? OTR standing by.
I do.
Oh, you do have the Polycom. Are you familiar with Harvey Radio Incorporated out there on maybe down the street from Felix? I don't know, at 103 West 43rd Street.
No, I'm not. But that's interesting. I do have the... I have the N. I think it's the 12-channel one. And I also, now, they come mostly in a brownish face, I think, or goldish face. I've got also the optional blue face that can go on there. Have put it on. I'm going to wait until I can find a decent amp somewhere, another one, 12 channel, and then I'll get it, if I can, and swap faces, so I'll have both faces. Anyway, okay, I got to do another radio in a minute. Battery was fine in this one.
All right, sounds good. Like I said, it's not quite full quieting. Charlie Alpha Tango is down here making some noise, and I made a move. I was going to pick up said Charlie Alpha Tango, and he probably thought, oh, he's going to go out to the food dish, so he went out, and we'll probably hear him again when he realizes that OTR is not over. All right, thanks for the Browning R2700A 23S9, and you don't know anything about Harvey Radio, but you do know something about Harvey's radios, and that's good. Talking about React over on the chat, boy, that was the day. When I first got into CB in the late 60s and 70s, there was a KOX 1095 West Coast React. It was the only other CB radio guy in the town where I lived, and he ran a Demco Super Satellite on Channel 9. We used to hang out on Channel 11 because we had the walkie-talkies, and you could hear that guy from everywhere, and he was on all the time. And his wife and his kids were part of it, and they basically ran, I don't know how they did it. They ran 24 hours, and of course you're in Los Angeles, so you have all the freeways. It was often very busy for that West Coast React, but a lot of work. I believe nobody got paid. No, let me put it this way. It paid the same as being an OTR net controller. So you had to really want to do that. So for all those who did React, good deal. I want to say hello or good night to Gary out there in Sacramento, and Jay is listening. Jay is saying hello. We've got the Compeller up tonight. We've got the Wheatstone up tonight. I was going to do. I don't know if. I'm taking too much time here, but I think I can do this. I was going to do something for GWD Labs, and we were going to go out of... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, there we go. We were going to go... I'm in the AM mode, which the processor is for the radio, but I was going to go into... Let's see if I can do this. I was going to put the processor into an FM mode for those who are on the internet. So let's see. I think I do one change. Hello, 6-7. And so there is the processor in the wideband mode, but I don't run it like that because it needs to be narrow banded 6-7. Boom, boom. It needs to be narrow banded. Plus, I've got some EQ going on for the radio because it sounds awful. It's like, that's the audio thing. You have an 8-ounce glass and you pour 12 ounces of water in it because you think it's cool, but guess what happens to that extra 4 ounces of water? So I'm going to go back to Orange Furniture, Sizzling Sausage. There you go, 6-7. So that is the sound that the AM radio likes. It's a little bit more compressed, but it's good. It keeps my voice similar to what's coming in on the receive, because that's what we're listening to the radios. Who cares what the net controller sounds like? OTR is listening for Radio 7. 7, go ahead. You were quick. I figured that Ed might jump in on that one, but I didn't prep him good enough. Go ahead.
Well, I can stand by, so 7 can be 7.
Well, he's already checked in, yay, verily, 2 radios tonight, so he might be doing okay.
Okay. I don't want to wait for 19 radios. Okay. And Cliff would be in trouble. Okay. The Browning R68, T68, Golden Beagle, from Browning Laboratories. No flushing included tonight. And the unamplified Diorno phone with the Browning medallion on the back. And for me tonight, I think. Were there any questions that I might not be able to answer?
That's like saying, are there any questions that were asked of the net control that he can't remember to ask you? Did I hear you right? That is not is that the Golden Beagle, or is that just the Golden Eagle?
This is the Beagle. Why?
All right, because I have to document it accurately on my list.
Yeah. This is the Beagle with the big ears. Yeah. Golden Beagle. I also have one that's a Golden Bagel, but we'll go into that some other time.
Yeah, and see, I was probably going to do a Golden Bagel after the net here, and I realized I think I'm out of bagels. I just have some very old cinnamon bread, so that just quite isn't the cinnamon raisin bagel, so I may have to go to the bakery and pick some up. There is the Golden Eagle by Browning, the R68, T68, the Mark I before the Mark II. A lot of people, we talked to Ed, he said he likes the Mark III, perhaps his fave. This combination with the Mark II, a favorite for a lot of stations as well. So that gives us Radio 7. It's been a wonderful week with the rain on Monday and the air being very clear. I actually opened the window, albeit, I am afraid of the window cadaver back there, but it seems like the window cadaver is behaving. And now, because it is so cold, someone has started a fireplace somewhere, and it is choking me out of the room. We just got rid of all that smoke from the fires. And now we've got the real deal. But at least I guess someone is keeping warm. This is a good fire. Someone's keeping warm. It's not burning things down. Who else? Who else wants to check in while we count an amount and before we leave the air tonight on the Old Tube Radio Network?
Well, Dennis, if I'm running kind of late on this end, I hope I get a chance there to check in at least one. I have two warmed up. If I may, I'd like to check this one in.
Oops. All right. No need to stand in line. If I was good, I would probably tell you the radio on which you are talking. But all your radios sound so great that it's hard for me to pick one because I know, I've got a 50-50 chance. So tell us what you are running for Radio 8 on our list tonight. Over.
Thank you there, Dennis, for allowing me to check this one in. From World Radio Labs, my Hustler base, my 7-tube, 8-channel on a Turner plus 3 microphone.
I forgot. That's what I'm thinking. Is it the E.F. Johnson? I totally forgot about the Hustler. Is it the Robin because the audio is so good? I have a Hustler on my Rolodex, but when I bring it up, it brings up antennas, of course, because I should be bringing up the World, Leo Meyerson's World Radio Labs, and then I don't even think it has been included in that. I do have, I do have something. I'm rambling here. I have a picture of the Rustler, and I know we've been through that before. And Harvey may have something if he wants to chime in. Okay, what I'll do is I'll bring up that because I want to talk about it. So there it is, $79.95, and that's the Rustler model from WRL, but it looks just like, of course, this is sort of a monochrome ad, sepia tone, so it doesn't show the blue color. But I didn't realize that radio wasn't even $100. Where was I back when I was, working for $1.65 an hour that I couldn't save up $79 to get myself a Rustler or a Hustler? Take another transmission on Radio 8.
Thank you much. Well, you must have got a raise at $1.65 an hour. Yeah, this one is with a tunable receive and the 8-channel setting. Also, I'll just quote your volume. and an extra slot there for the external crystal with a vertical meter on it that starts from the bottom going up. Other than that, it's got a chrome strip right in the middle of the unit with the speaker, the meter, two knobs embedded in that chrome strip. I know it's kind of a hard radio to look up under, but this is a 7.2 with a Turner Plus 3.
Hey, Dennis, that article is from 1965.
65? You mean for, hang on one, Joe, you mean for the General Radio telephone?
What was that again? S9 Magazine, November 65.
That's in reference to the General Radio telephone?
No, the Hustler.
Okay, all right. I was gonna, that couldn't possibly be. Okay, because this is the Hustler, and I'm thinking that they had various little different models, because this one I'm showing doesn't have the chrome strip. Doesn't say it's Rustler. I mean, this was a steal for $79 when all the other radios, even the ones that were not 23 channels, were selling for well over $100, $120. So maybe there just weren't a lot of them around, or maybe, you know, WRL was thinking, well, you know, we've got to break into the CB market, the 11-meter Class D. We know how to make a Globe Scout. You know, we know how to make an 80-pound transmitter. When it comes to one that's 12 pounds, maybe we got to make it affordable so that people will buy it. Anyway, I'm taking the stage when we should be listening to Joe. That radio is so smooth sounding with the way you've got it tuned up. Give us another transmission.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Like I say, you know, I'm kind of lost in the works myself. It does have a little glowing eye right in the middle of that little so-called chrome strip, which is about maybe 2.5 inches in the center of the radio. But other than that, I'm glad you allowed me to check this one in, and maybe next weekend there we'll be a little bit more on time.
Hey, not a problem. I'm always amazed on the old Tube Radio Network, and we've been doing this, I keep saying, I don't know for how long, what, 35, 36 years, that people take the time. Saturday is a busy day for a lot of people, so a lot of people are sneaking into the radio room and moving things around, and it is the reason that we've been on for so long, because people do exactly what you do. They make time, and then if they don't make time, they feel guilty. How is that? I don't even have to shame anybody. They feel guilty that they didn't check in. So thanks a bunch. You've got Radio 8.
Thank you, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis.
This is the basic Dennis over.
If you go to Google and you type in WRL Hustler, about 3 or 4 spots down, after a couple of wrong references, you'll find CB Picture 9, or it's a CB Pic 9, something like that, from retrocom.com, where people have listed all kinds of radios. I mean, it goes forever. But this one goes to the page that shows the WRL Hustler. It's a very poor picture. The radio is dirty, but you can see the upper right name badge. There is an H in there for Hustler.
Yeah, interesting. And then this photo was posted on the old Tube CB Radio Network, and it doesn't give credit for where it's from. It's just WRL's low-cost Rustler, but it looks exactly like the Hustler. It still doesn't have the chrome strip on it. And it talks about the features, you know, crystal controlled and supplied with universal mounting bracket and the variable receive. And for only, you know, the $5 layaway. And it's WRL, it's not Globe. So very interesting. I mean, it blew me away that we've been doing this for so long, and it took 36 years for us to actually get one of these radios checked in.
Roger. Understood. Oh, yeah. I just happened to notice it, and the price was right, so I went for it and got it going and all that, and then I heard his handle and said, hey, he's got to have this thing. So anyway, on retrocom.com, they list, I don't know how many CB pictures, but each picture might show about 20 or 30 radios. A lot of them are duplicate, but if you've got a radio that's missing the manufacturer or anything on the front to let you know what it is, if you can stand to go through almost all these pictures, well, you bring up each page's main picture, and then you can see smaller pictures of each radio, and then from that you can kind of determine if yours looks close to any of those. Then if not, you can go to the next page, etc. I had to do that and go through, I think, 15 pages, and I finally found a no-name radio that I have, which I will find in storage, bring here, maybe next week, and put it on the air. I won't say what it is. If Cliff is listening, he knows what it is. But that's how I had to find what mine was, because it was missing the name on the front. But it's a unique radio. Okay, I'll let you go.
All right, and thanks to Retrocom, they've been helping us out since we got the internet. They got the internet, and we got started. And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's very helpful. A lot of times I'm sitting here doing this on the fly, and like you said, it's really their format is great for having all the information. But if you're kind of doing other things, it is really hard to concentrate to find the pieces and parts. So I usually have to pre-do something like that to find what I'm looking for. So very good. Anyway, it's always, like I said, we're always interested and fascinated when something comes up that was like, where did this come from? And they're all over. We just didn't know. And then people stop by, and we'll have something that checks in 5 of them, and they'll say, we've never seen that before, and it just seems to be a West Coast thing or a Central California thing. We've got room for a radio. I'm going to do counting and mounting. It is getting late. It is late. Thanks to those, I want to say 73 to those stations who are in tomorrow and staying up late. Good night to you. And I'll say, anybody else want to check in before we get out of the radio stuff tonight?
Dennis, just let me check this one in, my Robin 123B, and I'll make this real quick there. It is warmed up, and doggone it, I had warmed them up there. I know I'm running late, so I apologize for that there. And if you will put this one down, I'd like to check it in.
I will do that. Don't go away just yet. Any radio is a good radio. I wanted to check in Mike, Mr. Cobra, SWL13, who is over at oldtuberadio.net. And we want to add the Robin to the mix. And you have the 123 Bravo, is that correct? Over.
Yes, sir. The 123B, a little modified version here with, I wouldn't call them funny channels. I'd just say extra channels. I don't know why. When I say funny channels, it's like the radio's funny. I don't know. I just don't understand it. But anyway, this one here has about 10 extra channels on it. All the features on it are very nice, working condition. And one of these days I'll have a PA box, something hooked up to it, so I can have a PA speaker and see how the PA light works on it. I know when I do push it, it does come on. So I know the light is active, and all the lights at this point are. I am on a D104 powered microphone, and I am running it AC.
It sounds good. 73 to Uncle Hairball watching on the video. Thanks for joining us tonight. We start 8 o'clock Pacific time, Pacific Daylight Time, Pacific Standard Time, whatever whatever flavor we're in at the moment. So thanks for staying up late with us. And then we keep the videos up, and there's an audio archive. So if you miss it, you can always come in and scroll through and look for your favorite radio, which might be this one, the Robin T123Bs. People are counting tonight our Panasonic chassis. So that's why it was important for you to check this radio in, because we have fans of Panasonic chassis tonight, and this one fits right in. Charlie Alpha Tango just realized... What, buddy? Charlie Alpha Tango just realized that I did not walk into the area with food when he was there. Yeah, all right. So somebody's letting me know we're going overtime here tonight. Take one more transmission before you go, Joe. You are radio number 9.
Thank you, Dennis, for allowing me to check this one in. I do have the original stock mic that came with this radio. It's just a little bitty, I can't hardly describe it, hard to hold in my hand. If I were to wrap my hand around it, I'd probably cover it up. But I do have the original stock mic to this, and this is an 11-tube CB transceiver. Thanks a lot, Dennis.
Yeah, the 11-tube Panasonic chassis. You can't go wrong. Some were 8 or 9. The 13-tube radios were typically the sideband radios, because they needed an extra tube for the product detector and some other stuff, I think. But looking good. Robin T123B added to our mix. The jingle singers are saying they want to go to the bar, so they got to do their thing before they can leave.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us.
Old Tube Radio.
And be modern.
Counting and amounting right back.
Now it's me again.
Oh, yes. Oh, hello, radio.
Okay, I searched some more on Retrocom, CB Picture 16, and then you go to number 32, radio 32, and you will see a pristine World Radio Labs Hustler, just like Hustler. Okay, got the powder blue microphone and everything else. Looks really, really nice. So anybody that wants to look at that radio, retrocom.com, CB Picture 16, and within that they have like 50 other pictures, but picture 32 is of the Hustler, and it's a beautiful picture. Really nice looking radio. Okay? Oh, and if anybody's still listening, if anybody can find that article about, what was it, React, showing the Super MC100 radio, or the advertisement for General Radio Telephone, selling all their radios, advertising their radios, including the 100. Contact us. I'd like to get a good copy. Okay, back to you, Dennis. Thank you.
And thank you. And the picture that is being displayed for those who are at the video, it's not on the, because of the way I had to bring it in, it's not on the oldtuberadio.net site, but it's the picture we're showing on the YouTube video. That is the one that Harvey is talking about, courtesy of Retrocom. I was trying to position it so that I could get their little meatball logo, which they put in almost all pictures, but that one didn't have it. So it is from Retrocom, and someone asked, I think, if that was the actual radio that Joe was using. I believe that it's not, but I think he said his is in pretty good condition. Plus, I think he said his has the mobile mounting bracket, which would go on the side there. So thanks, Harvey. I've got the picture up. It is a very good picture, and we like all the radios, and We appreciate our historians such as Harvey and Mr. 23 Skidoo that help us out in this history that is sort of being lost and frittered away as the people that actually know the answer to these things cease to be around. So thanks for that. We'll be back and we'll do the counting and amounting on OTR. In fact, I think I'll do it now as we approach the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour here.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final, wow, it's loud. The current and final OTR totals tonight. SWLs, we had 14 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 18 on page 3, 24 on page 4 for a total of 73. And we are in what week? We're on week 3 of this 8-week roster. And radios tonight we had 9, so it picked up after a bit of a slow start. Most heard manufacturer turned out to be Brownings. I thought it was going to be the Robins, thanks to some late check-ins, but it looks like Browning started off with the Robin T123. Not a Panasonic chassis, I believe. In fact, for the Panasonic chassis watchers, you might know this. The rigs were 10 tubes, then they had 11 tubes, and there were several 9-tube depopulated models, sort of like the Madman Munch. You know, how many components can we pull out of this particular item and it will still work? That's sort of what they're doing today with products. How many ounces can we make your gallon orange juice or your half-gallon orange juice, you know, before people realize, hey, this is only 48 ounces. Still tastes like orange juice, though. 9-tubed, and they had the 9-tube 40-channel version. So anyway, our Robin of the Evening T123 from Green Arrow with the Magic Eye. Paul brought us the General Radio Telephone Super MC12 from 1972, I believe. Their last offering as, I don't know if they were still General Radio Telephone or Skyhawk, but their last radio for sure. The Tram TR27C was radio 3 from Mr. Ed. Radio number 4, the Lafayette Comstat 35A, which was one of the Panasonic version 2 chassis. Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, Mr. Ed for Radio 5. The Browning R2700A and 23S9 transmitter from Harvey for Radio 6. And Harvey, yeah, I think the transmitter and audio was working just fine. It was just down in my noise a little bit, but heard it fine. When you hear the replay, you will look at the S meter and then you will listen to the audio and you'll say, well, that's why it's a Browning. It's not even registering on the S meter, and you can copy it 100%. Radio 7, Harvey on his R68 T68 Browning Lavatories, Golden Beagle. The Hustler WRL from World Radio Labs from Hustler, the Hustler and the Hustler. Thanks, Joe. And radio number 9, the Robin T123B. Glad you warmed it up and that you were able to bring it by. Because that is why we do this on Saturday night, so that you can get in the driver's seat, drive it around the block, and there may be some people listening or watching that have yet to experience said CB radio, or maybe they said, "Nah, my Uncle Elmer used to have one of those, or maybe I have one of those." So good stuff tonight. Thanks to all those who participated. I'm taking one of those old buzzer transmissions, but I want to get in everything before I go. Checking for any other comments or questions. Anybody else for OTR tonight? Over. And the noise is up on the HF bands tonight. The AM guys are done, both on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Bobcats, it's a regular now. I got the skunk families that are regulars now.
75 meters is looking good. Probably if you have a kilowatt and a nice dipole antenna. The DX guys are probably down on the low end of 40 meters. And I can just barely hear the FT8 coming through on 20, so pick your poison. Good night, everybody, from your old tube radio network.
Good night, Dennis, and to all the SWLs, and of course to Bozo Control.
Yeah, I got to go feed a Charlie Alpha Tango. Where is the... It's over here. This is what... I still can't believe this. I got to go find out why we are doing cue cards. That they're doing the cue cards on the back of the Trader Joe's bags. That means I'm not going to have any bags to put my garbage in anyway. Good night, everybody, from your old tube radio network. And, oh, yeah, and the honking proboscis, 73.
Thank you, Dennis.
And Jay, I hope so. I have a radio that will do a little bit better ESSB in the works. It has been in the works since May due to shipping things and manufacturing problems and technical problems and FedEx problems. And if it ever arrives, maybe in 2022, all this other rack garbage might have something to actually work on. Good night, everybody. I'll catch you next time.
Good night, Rich, and thank you for the information on this website. I'm going to follow up on that. I think I'll just get one of these, and with that spring I got and the whip I got, I think all those pieces will come together. Yeah, 50. I think it was 54 inches, Alex, is what I ended up with.
Yeah, I don't know if you had to subtract some for the spring or not.
I can't remember, but I got a tracking generator, so I can just put it on there and get it all tweaked out. I've got these General Electric 125-watt mobile units that are all crystalled up on 52525 on channel 1 and 5254 on channel 2. And we used to run them in our trucks, and we had a great time across the desert because, I mean, you could be on one mountaintop and not even see the other mountaintop, 75 miles away. And you're full quieting in the truck. I mean, it was 6 meters was just great for going mountain topping up here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Didn't they make those in 100-watt versions too, the radio?
Yeah, well, the 100-watt versions were UHF and high band. Actually, I think the high band were called 110 with the 4 transistors, and the UHF with the 4 transistors were 100.